It was a quiet, unremarkable night in the small town of Willow Creek. The air was crisp and the stars twinkled like tiny diamonds scattered across an endless black canvas. People had gone about their usual routines, some finishing dinner, others watching TV or reading books before bed. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But then something extraordinary happened. A low hum began to fill the air, so faint at first that most people dismissed it as the wind or distant traffic. However, within minutes the sound grew louder, more intense, until it became impossible to ignore. Dogs howled, birds took flight from their nests, and even the insects fell silent as if sensing that something unnatural was approaching. People stepped outside their homes, gazing upward with confusion and curiosity. At first, they saw nothing unusual, just the same familiar constellations they'd admired countless times before. Then, without warning, the sky seemed to split apart. Thin streaks of light appeared high above, slicing through the darkness like glowing cracks in glass. The phenomenon spread rapidly, covering the entire horizon in a matter of seconds. It wasn't fireworks or an aurora borealis. This was something far beyond anything humanity had ever witnessed. And then, slowly but surely, massive shapes emerged from the rifts in the sky. The objects were unlike anything anyone could have imagined. Enormous metallic structures descended gracefully, each one larger than the tallest skyscrapers on Earth. Their surfaces shimmered with an otherworldly glow, reflecting colors that didn't exist in nature. Some of them resembled sleek, angular ships straight out of science fiction movies, while others looked like floating fortresses bristling with unknown technology. These weren't just spaceships, they were star destroyers, colossal vessels capable of wiping entire planets off the map. Panic swept across Willow Creek as residents realized what they were witnessing: alien spacecraft descending from orbit. News of the event spread like wildfire. Social media platforms exploded with videos and photos of the mysterious ships, and soon the entire world knew about the unprecedented arrival. Governments scrambled to respond, activating emergency protocols and deploying military forces to monitor the situation. Fighter jets roared into the skies, circling the alien vessels cautiously. Radio broadcasts crackled with warnings and demands for the intruders to identify themselves. Yet despite the tense standoff, the aliens made no hostile moves. They simply hovered there, silent and unmoving, as if waiting for something or someone. Dr. Emily Carter sat in her dimly lit office at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, in Pasadena, California, staring at her computer screen with a mixture of awe and dread. For days she had been tracking strange anomalies in space telemetry data. Objects moving faster than anything human-made had been detected near Jupiter's orbit. At first, she thought it might be a glitch in the system or perhaps a previously undiscovered asteroid cluster. But when satellites began picking up bizarre signals, patterns resembling Morse code but infinitely more complex, she realized they weren't dealing with natural phenomena. Something, or someone, was out there, and it was heading toward Earth. Emily was no stranger to pressure. As one of JPL's top astrophysicists, she had spent years studying the mysteries of the universe. She had stared into the void of space countless times, searching for answers to questions that had plagued humanity since the dawn of civilization. Are we alone? Is there life beyond our planet? Now, those questions had taken on a terrifying urgency. For weeks, Emily and her team worked around the clock, analyzing every byte of data, trying to decode the signals. They ran simulations, cross-referenced patterns, and consulted experts from various fields. But just as they started making progress, the skies above Earth tore open, revealing the truth in a way no one could have anticipated. As images of the alien ships flooded news outlets worldwide, Emily felt a chill run down her spine. This wasn't just a scientific breakthrough. It was a potential existential threat. The sheer size of the vessel suggested advanced technology far beyond human capabilities. If these beings intended harm, humanity would be powerless to stop them. Still, there was something else nagging at the back of her mind. Why now? Why had they chosen this moment to reveal themselves? And why did their presence feel deliberate? Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock on her office door. Standing in the doorway was Mark Reynolds, her colleague and closest friend. His face was pale, his eyes wide with shock. "Emily," he said breathlessly, "you need to see this." Without waiting for a response, he turned and hurried down the hallway. Intrigued and slightly alarmed, Emily followed him to the main control room. Inside, the atmosphere was electric. Dozens of scientists huddled around monitors, speaking in hushed tones. On the largest screen at the front of the room, a live feed showed footage of one of the alien ships hovering over New York City. Suddenly, the ship emitted a bright flash of light, and a holographic projection appeared above it. The image depicted a humanoid figure with elongated limbs and translucent skin. Its voice boomed across the city, speaking in perfect English. "We are the Vrin. We come in peace." Gasps echoed throughout the control room as the message replayed on loop. Relief washed over Emily, but only briefly. Something about the tone of the transmission felt off. It wasn't fear or aggression, but rather desperation. The Vrin weren't here to conquer. They were here to escape. Mark broke the silence. "Did you hear that?" he asked, pointing at the screen. "They're running from something," Emily nodded slowly. But what could scare a species advanced enough to build ships like those? Unbeknownst to the public, Earth harbored secrets older than recorded history. Deep within classified government archives, documents revealed evidence of ancient technology buried under the ice caps of Antarctica. These relics predated modern civilization by millions of years, suggesting that Earth had once been visited, or perhaps colonized, by another advanced race. What the Vrin feared wasn't humanity itself, but the dormant power hidden beneath the surface. According to their records, the long-lost creators of those artifacts were known as the Zetherians, a hyper-aggressive species believed to have gone extinct eons ago. Yet now, sensors aboard the Vrin fleet detected faint energy signatures emanating from deep underground, signs that the Zetherian tech might still be active. Emily knew she couldn't sit idly by while the fate of the world hung in the balance. Within hours, she received a call from General Marcus Hayes, head of the United States Space Command. He briefed her on a top-secret mission: lead a joint team of scientists and military personnel to investigate the source of the energy readings. Her expertise in astrophysics and cryptography made her the ideal candidate for the job. Though hesitant to leave her lab, Emily accepted the assignment, knowing that failure wasn't an option. The journey to Antarctica was grueling. Blizzards raged relentlessly, forcing the team to navigate treacherous terrain in near-whiteout conditions. After days of travel, they finally reached the coordinates provided by the Vrin. Beneath layers of ice lay a sprawling underground facility carved directly into the frozen landscape. Crystalline structures lined the walls, pulsating with a soft blue light that illuminated the cavernous space. It was both beautiful and eerie, like stepping into another dimension. As the team ventured deeper into the facility, they discovered control panels etched with symbols eerily similar to the ones transmitted by the Vrin. Dr. Carter immediately recognized the significance of the find. "This isn't just a relic," she muttered, tracing her fingers over the intricate carvings. "It's a gateway." Alex Chen, a brilliant young linguist assigned to the mission, joined her at the panel. Together, they worked tirelessly to decipher the alien language, piecing together fragments of meaning from the cryptic symbols. Hours turned into days as they painstaking. More importantly, they needed to act fast, for the sake of all life on Earth. The underground facility in Antarctica was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. The crystalline structures embedded in the walls pulsed rhythmically, casting an ethereal blue glow that danced across the icy cavern. Each step the team took echoed ominously, reminding them of the weight of their mission and the potential consequences if they failed. Dr. Emily Carter and Alex Chen stood side by side at a central console, their breaths visible in the freezing air as they worked to decode the alien symbols etched into its surface. Behind them, armed soldiers kept watch, their weapons ready, but unused for now. Despite the tension, everyone remained focused on the task at hand. understanding the purpose of this ancient technology before it was too late. Emily ran her fingers over the smooth, cold surface of the control panel, feeling the faint hum of energy beneath her fingertips. "It's like it's alive," she murmured half to herself. Alex nodded, his sharp eyes scanning the intricate patterns carved into the metal. "These symbols, they're not random. They follow a specific sequence, almost like instructions." He pointed to a cluster of glyphs near the center of the panel. "This one here looks like it represents activation, and these others—" His voice trailed off as he traced the outline of another set of markings. "They might be coordinates." The implications were staggering. If Alex was right, this wasn't just some forgotten relic. It was a fully operational device capable of opening a portal to somewhere or sometime else. But where did it lead? And more importantly, what waited on the other side? Emily felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She glanced back at General Marcus Hayes, who stood nearby with arms crossed, his expression unreadable. "General," she said cautiously, "if we activate this thing without knowing what's on the other end, we could be inviting disaster." Hayes stepped forward, his boots crunching against the frozen floor. "Dr. Carter, time isn't on our side," he replied, grimly. "The Vryn have already warned us about the Zytherians. If those bastards are coming, we need to prepare. That means figuring out how this tech works, and fast." Emily wanted to argue, to point out the risks of rushing into something they barely understood, but she knew he was right. Every second they wasted brought the unknown threat closer to Earth. With renewed determination, Emily and Alex dove deeper into their work. Using portable scanners and laptops connected to the alien system, they began mapping the energy flow within the facility. It didn't take long for them to notice something alarming. The crystals lining the walls were growing brighter, their pulsations increasing in frequency. Alarms blared throughout the chamber, startling the team. Red lights flickered overhead, bathing the room in an ominous glow. "What's happening?" one of the soldiers shouted, raising his rifle instinctively. "I don't know," Emily snapped, frantically typing commands into her laptop. "But whatever it is, it's accelerating." She turned to Alex, panic creeping into her voice. "We need to shut it down." Alex shook his head, his face pale. "There's no off switch. At least, none I can find. We've triggered something. We just don't know what yet." As the ground trembled beneath their feet, the team exchanged nervous glances. The facility seemed to come alive around them, the vibrations growing stronger with each passing moment. Suddenly, a deafening roar filled the chamber, and a massive section of the ceiling began to collapse. Chunks of ice rained down, forcing everyone to scatter for cover. Through the chaos, Emily spotted a narrow corridor leading away from the main room. "Over there," she yelled, pointing toward it. "We need to move." The group sprinted down the passageway, their footsteps echoing loudly as they fled the collapsing chamber. Behind them, the sound of grinding metal and cracking ice grew louder, signaling the destruction of the entrance they'd used to enter the facility. When they finally reached a safer area, they stopped to catch their breath. Emily leaned against the wall, her heart pounding. "That was too close," she muttered, wiping sweat from her forehead despite the freezing temperature. "If we don't figure this out soon, we won't have a planet left to save." Determined to regain control of the situation, Emily and Alex resumed their analysis of the alien technology. This time, however, they approached it with even greater caution. Working together, they identified several key components of the system: a power source located deep within the facility, a series of conduits channeling energy to various parts of the structure, and a central hub designed to initiate the gateway. By carefully rerouting the energy flow, they hoped to stabilize the system and prevent further instability. Hours passed as they painstakingly manipulated the controls, testing different combinations of inputs based on the decoded symbols. Progress was slow, but eventually they managed to isolate the activation sequence. "I think I've got it," Alex announced, his voice trembling with excitement and exhaustion. "If we input these coordinates here," he tapped a series of keys on the console, "we should be able to open the gateway safely." Emily hesitated, staring at the glowing interface. "Are you sure about this?" she asked quietly. "Once we do this, there's no turning back." Alex met her gaze, his expression resolute. "We don't have a choice. Whatever's coming, we need answers. And maybe, just maybe, this will give us a fighting chance." Taking a deep breath, Emily nodded. Together they initiated the sequence. The crystals flared brightly, their light filling the chamber until it became almost unbearable to look at. Then, with a final burst of energy, the gateway opened, a swirling vortex of shimmering blue and white light that seemed to stretch infinitely into the unknown. For a moment, everyone stared in awe at the sight before them. It was beautiful, terrifying, and utterly alien. But then, something moved within the vortex. Shadows flickered at the edges of the light, indistinct shapes shifting and writhing as if alive. A low, guttural growl emanated from the portal, sending chills down everyone's spines. One of the soldiers raised his weapon, aiming it at the swirling mass. "What the hell is that?" he demanded, his voice shaking. Emily stepped closer to the portal, squinting as she tried to make sense of what she was seeing. "It's not the Zytherians," she whispered, her tone filled with both relief and dread. "Whatever it is, it's responding to us." Back in orbit, the Vryn watched the unfolding events with mounting concern. Their sensors detected a sudden surge of energy emanating from Earth's surface, confirming that the ancient gateway had been activated. Commander Zinthar, leader of the Vryn fleet, paced anxiously aboard his flagship. "This cannot happen," he muttered to his second-in-command, a female officer named Lyressa. "If the Zytherians detect the signal, they will descend upon this planet like locusts. Humanity has no defense against them." Lyressa nodded, solemnly. "Our only hope is to intervene directly. Perhaps we can contain the breach before it attracts unwanted attention." Without hesitation, Zinthar ordered a detachment of drones to descend to Earth and assist the human team. Equipped with advanced shielding and repair tools, the drones aimed to stabilize the gateway and prevent any further escalation. Meanwhile, the Vryn fleet maintained a vigilant watch over the planet, prepared to act decisively if necessary. On the ground, Emily and her team received unexpected reinforcements when the Vryn drones arrived. Sleek and insect-like, the machines hovered silently above the gateway, deploying beams of golden light that interacted with the unstable energy field. Gradually, the chaotic swirls of light began to calm, and the menacing shadows receded. Emily watched in amazement as the drones worked seamlessly alongside her equipment, stabilizing the system far more effectively than she or Alex could have done alone. Despite the temporary reprieve, Emily knew the danger wasn't over. The gateway still existed, and its presence posed a significant risk. Turning to General Hayes, she voiced her concerns. "We can't leave this thing active. Even if it's stable now, it's only a matter of time before someone or something tries to use it again." Hayes frowned, considering her words. "Then what do you suggest we do? Destroy it?" Emily shook her head. "Not destroy it. Repurpose it. If we can send a message through the gateway, maybe we can reach allies instead of enemies." Inspired by her idea, Alex quickly began modifying the communication protocols they had developed earlier. With the help of the Vryn drones, they encoded a simple yet powerful message: "We stand together." Then, using the gateway as a transmitter, they broadcast the signal into the void beyond. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. The team held their collective breath, unsure whether their gamble would pay off. Just as doubt started to creep in, the gateway erupted in a dazzling display of light. Dozens of ships descended from the vortex, not hostile invaders, but representatives of various interstellar civilizations. Among them were beings of all shapes and sizes, united by a shared purpose: protecting life. One of the ships broke formation and landed nearby, its sleek design radiating warmth and reassurance. From it emerged a delegation of ambassadors, eager to meet the species responsible for summoning them. Emily stepped forward, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't alone, and so the stage was set for a new chapter in Earth's story. One where kindness, courage, and cooperation would pave the way to a brighter future among the stars. The arrival of the interstellar delegation marked a turning point in human history, a moment when Earth transitioned from isolation to inclusion in a vast and intricate galactic community. The ambassadors who stepped out of their ships were as diverse as the stars themselves, each representing different species, cultures, and civilizations. Some walked on two legs, others floated gracefully above the ground, and a few even communicated through shimmering patterns of light that danced across their translucent forms. Despite their differences, they shared one common goal: ensuring the survival of sentient life throughout the universe. Dr. Emily Carter stood at the forefront of humanity's representatives, her heart pounding with a mix of awe and nervousness. She had spent years studying the cosmos, imagining what lay beyond the boundaries of Earth. Yet nothing could have prepared her for this, the reality of standing face to face with beings from other worlds. Behind her, General Marcus Hayes and his team of soldiers maintained a respectful distance, their weapons holstered but ready if needed. Alex Chen clutched his laptop tightly, his eyes wide as he observed the alien visitors, capturing every detail for future analysis. One of the ambassadors approached Emily cautiously, its movements slow and deliberate. It was tall and slender, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver under the polar sun. Its large, almond-shaped eyes glowed faintly, exuding an aura of wisdom and calm. "Greetings, child of Earth," it said in a voice that resonated deep within Emily's chest, bypassing language barriers entirely. "We are the Calith Collective, guardians of peace among the stars." Emily swallowed hard, forcing herself to remain composed. "Thank you for coming," she replied, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside her. "We didn't know how else to reach you, or if anyone would answer our call." The ambassador tilted its head slightly, as though considering her words. "Your message reached us because it carried sincerity and hope. Few species dare to extend such trust after encountering forces beyond their understanding. You have shown courage, and for that, we commend you." As the conversation continued, the Calith explained the significance of the gateway hidden beneath Antarctica. Long ago, during a time when the Zetherians ruled much of the galaxy, the structure had served as both a weapon and a beacon. When activated, it could summon reinforcements or unleash devastating attacks, depending on who controlled it. After the fall of the Zetherian Empire, the gateways were sealed away, buried on planets deemed too primitive to pose a threat. But now, with the Vryn fleeing their dying galaxy and the Zetherian remnants stirring once more, the dormant technology had been reawakened, potentially endangering countless lives. Emily listened intently, absorbing every word. "So, what happens next?" she asked finally. "What can we do to help?" The Calith ambassador gestured toward the swirling vortex behind them. "This gateway must be safeguarded. It is a relic of immense power, capable of either great destruction or unparalleled unity. With your permission, we will establish a joint task force to monitor and maintain it, humans working alongside representatives from across the stars." General Hayes stepped forward, his expression stern. "With all due respect, Ambassador, humanity has only just discovered the existence of extraterrestrial life. Trust doesn't come easily for us. How can we be certain your intentions are genuine?" Ripple of murmurs passed through the assembled aliens, but the Calith remained unperturbed. "Understandable," it responded calmly. "Distrust is natural when faced with the unknown. However, consider this. The choice before you is not between trust and caution. It is between cooperation and extinction. The Zetherians may yet return, and without allies, your planet stands no chance against them." Hayes hesitated, exchanging a glance with Emily. Though reluctant to admit it, he knew the ambassador was right. Humanity lacked the resources, technology, and experience to defend itself against a threat of such magnitude. Reluctantly, he nodded. "Very well. We'll work with you, but any decision involving Earth security must involve our leaders." Satisfied, the Caliph turned back to Emily. "You have taken the first step toward a brighter future. Know this: unity is strength, and together we shall ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated." Over the following weeks, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in its history. News of the alien alliance spread rapidly, sparking debates, protests, and celebrations around the globe. Governments convened emergency sessions to address the implications of joining an interstellar coalition, while scientists raced to understand the advanced technologies shared by their newfound allies. For ordinary citizens, life became a blend of wonder and uncertainty. Some embraced the idea of coexisting with extraterrestrial beings, seeing it as an opportunity for growth and innovation. Others feared losing their autonomy, worried that humanity might become subordinate to more powerful species. Amidst the chaos, Emily found herself thrust into the spotlight. Her role in decoding the gateway and establishing contact with the Caliph earned her international recognition. Overnight, she went from being a relatively obscure astrophysicist to a global icon, hailed as a hero by many. Reporters camped outside her home, eager to capture her thoughts on humanity's place in the universe. Invitations poured in from universities, governments, and private organizations, all wanting her expertise. Yet despite the accolades, Emily remained grounded, knowing that her work was far from over. Meanwhile, Alex Chen continued to assist Emily, his brilliance shining brighter than ever. Together, they collaborated with the Caliph engineers to refine the gateway's systems, ensuring it could be used safely and responsibly. They also worked closely with the Vrin, who provided invaluable insights into Zetherian tactics and weaknesses. Through these efforts, humanity began to carve out a niche for itself within the galactic community, earning respect for its resilience and ingenuity. But not everyone welcomed the changes brought about by the Alliance. In shadowy corners of the world, conspiracy theories flourished. Fueled by fear and misinformation, some groups accused the aliens of harboring ulterior motives, claiming they sought to exploit Earth's resources or enslave its population. Protests erupted in major cities, with demonstrators chanting slogans like "Earth for Earthlings" and demanding an end to foreign intervention. Tensions escalated further when several rogue nations refused to participate in the coalition, viewing it as a threat to their sovereignty. Faced with mounting unrest, Emily and her team worked tirelessly to bridge the gap between skeptics and supporters. They organized public forums, inviting experts and ambassadors to explain the benefits of cooperation. Testimonies from those who had witnessed the aliens' goodwill firsthand helped sway opinions, gradually easing fears. Still, the road ahead promised to be long and challenging. In orbit above Earth, the Vrin fleet remained vigilant, serving as both protectors and mediators. Commander Zinthar frequently communicated with Emily, offering guidance and support as humanity navigated its new role in the cosmos. "Your species possesses a rare quality," he told her during one such exchange. "You adapt quickly, even in the face of overwhelming odds. That is why we believe in your potential." Emily smiled faintly, touched by his words. "Thank you, Commander, but adapting isn't enough. We need to learn. Teach us everything you can about the Xetherians, about diplomacy, about surviving in a hostile universe. We're willing to listen." Zinthar nodded approvingly. "Then let us begin." Under his direction, teams of Vrin instructors arrived on Earth, teaching humans basic principles of space travel, combat strategies, and cultural etiquette. Military personnel trained alongside alien warriors, learning techniques honed over centuries of conflict. Scientists exchanged knowledge, combining human creativity with alien precision to develop groundbreaking innovations. Slowly but surely, humanity began to evolve, shedding its limitations and embracing its place among the stars. Yet even as progress unfolded, reminders of the looming threat persisted. Reports trickled in from distant sectors of space, detailing skirmishes between the Caliph Collective and Zetherian remnants. Though still far from Earth, these encounters served as stark warnings of what awaited if humanity faltered. Determined to avoid such a fate, Emily pushed herself harder than ever, pouring every ounce of energy into strengthening the alliance. One evening, as she gazed up at the night sky from her balcony, Emily reflected on how far they'd come and how much farther they had to go. The Star Destroyers stationed in orbit cast faint shadows across the landscape, symbols of both protection and responsibility. Somewhere out there, beyond the reaches of human comprehension, ancient enemies plotted their revenge. But here on Earth, hope burned brightly, fueled by the belief that unity could overcome even the darkest of threats. And so, with determination in her heart and the weight of the world on her shoulders, Emily vowed to keep moving forward, for the sake of her planet, her people, and the fragile bond they had forged with the stars. As weeks turned into months, the alliance between humanity and the interstellar coalition grew stronger, but the challenges ahead loomed larger than ever. The Calith Collective, along with other alien species, worked tirelessly to integrate Earth into their network of civilizations. They shared advanced technologies that revolutionized fields such as medicine, energy production, and communication. Diseases that once plagued humanity were eradicated overnight, thanks to nanotechnology developed by the Vrin. Clean, limitless energy replaced fossil fuels, drastically reducing pollution levels worldwide. Even the most remote corners of the planet gained access to instant global connectivity, bridging gaps that had persisted for centuries. But while these advancements brought immense benefits, they also exposed deep divisions within human society. The rapid pace of change left many people struggling to adapt. In rural areas, farmers found themselves unable to compete with automated systems imported from off-world markets. Factory workers watched helplessly as machines took over jobs that had sustained generations of families. Social unrest simmered beneath the surface, fueled by resentment toward both the aliens and the elites who seemed to benefit most from the new order. Dr. Emily Carter bore witness to this growing tension firsthand. As one of the key figures in humanity's transition, she traveled extensively, meeting with leaders, scientists, and ordinary citizens alike. She listened to their concerns, trying to reassure them that the changes were meant to uplift everyone, not just a privileged few. Yet no matter how many speeches she gave or interviews she conducted, skepticism lingered. People feared losing control of their lives, their culture, and their identity in the face of overwhelming alien influence. One particularly tense meeting took place in New Delhi, where thousands of protesters gathered outside a government building, demanding answers about the future of Earth's sovereignty. Armed guards formed a perimeter around the venue, but the atmosphere remained volatile. Inside, Emily sat at a long conference table alongside representatives from the Calith Collective, the Vrin, and various national leaders. General Marcus Hayes stood nearby, his hand resting on the hilt of his sidearm, ready to intervene if necessary. A young activist named Priya Patel addressed the room, her voice trembling with emotion. "We appreciate the help you've given us," she began, addressing the alien delegates. "But we're not asking for charity. We're asking for respect. Humanity has its own way of doing things, and we don't want to lose ourselves in the process of becoming part of your galaxy." The Calith ambassador, whose shimmering silver form radiated calm authority, inclined its head respectfully. "Your concerns are valid, child of Earth," it replied. "No civilization should abandon its roots in pursuit of progress. However, consider this. Unity does not mean uniformity. We do not seek to erase your traditions or impose our ways upon you. Instead, we offer tools to preserve what makes you unique while equipping you to thrive alongside others." Priya hesitated, visibly moved by the ambassador's words. But before she could respond, another protester interrupted, shouting accusations of manipulation and exploitation. Chaos erupted as voices clashed, tempers flared, and security forces moved to restore order. Emily rose from her seat, raising her hands in a gesture of peace. "Enough," she called out, her voice cutting through the noise. "Fighting amongst ourselves won't solve anything. If we truly want to protect our planet and our future, we must work together, not against each other." Her plea silenced the room momentarily, allowing cooler heads to prevail. After hours of heated discussion, a tentative agreement was reached. Earth would retain full autonomy over its internal affairs, while the coalition would oversee matters related to space defense and interstellar diplomacy. It was a compromise, born of necessity, balancing human independence with the realities of galactic politics. Despite these diplomatic strides, the threat of the Zetherians cast a long shadow over humanity's newfound optimism. Intelligence reports indicated that remnants of the ancient empire were regrouping in distant star systems, amassing resources and recruiting allies for a potential assault. Though fragmented and weakened, they remained formidable adversaries, driven by a fanatical desire to reclaim their former glory. Commander Zinthar of the Vryn fleet provided regular updates on the situation, sharing grim details about recent skirmishes along the outer rim of Coalition-controlled space. Entire colonies had been wiped out, their inhabitants either enslaved or exterminated. Survivors spoke of monstrous warships armed with weapons capable of obliterating entire planets in seconds. The Zitherians' cruelty knew no bounds, and their hatred for weaker species burned like an eternal flame. Emily shuddered at the thought of such horrors reaching Earth. Determined to prepare humanity for the worst-case scenario, she collaborated with Alex Chen and a team of engineers to develop defensive measures tailored to Earth's unique environment. Using blueprints provided by the Kalith, they constructed orbital shields designed to deflect incoming attacks. Ground-based, installations equipped with alien weaponry formed a secondary line of defense, ensuring redundancy in case the shields failed. Training programs expanded rapidly, enlisting volunteers from all walks of life. Farmers, teachers, and office workers joined military personnel in learning how to operate alien technology and defend their homes. Schools incorporated lessons on interstellar history and cultural sensitivity, preparing younger generations for life in a connected universe. Despite lingering fears, a sense of purpose began to emerge among the population, a collective determination to stand firm against whatever threats lay ahead. Yet even as preparations continued, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The gateway beneath Antarctica remained active, its swirling vortex a constant reminder of the unknown. Though stabilized and monitored around the clock, it still held secrets yet to be uncovered. What lay beyond the portal? Were there allies, waiting to join the fight, or enemies biding their time? Driven by curiosity and a need for answers, Emily decided to take a bold step. With approval from the coalition leadership, she assembled a small expeditionary team to explore the gateway's destination. Alongside Alex Chen, General Hayes, and several trusted soldiers, she boarded a specially modified spacecraft provided by the Kalith. Powered by fusion reactors and shielded against hostile environments, the vessel represented the pinnacle of combined human-alien engineering. On the day of departure, crowds gathered near the launch site, cheering and waving banners emblazoned, with messages of hope and courage. Children held up drawings of stars and spaceships, their faces filled with wonder. For the first time in years, humanity felt united, not by fear, but by a shared dream of exploration and discovery. As the countdown reached 0, Emily took her seat aboard the ship, her heart pounding with anticipation. Through the viewport, she watched Earth grow smaller and smaller until it vanished entirely, replaced by the infinite expanse of space. Ahead of them, the gateway shimmered invitingly, its light pulsing like a heartbeat. Taking a deep breath, Emily gripped the controls and guided the ship toward the portal. When they emerged on the other side, the sight that greeted them defied imagination. They found themselves floating in a vast nebula, its vibrant colors stretching endlessly in every direction. Planets unlike any seen in Earth's solar system orbited nearby stars, their surfaces glowing with bioluminescent flora. Alien structures dotted the landscape, some resembling towering spires of crystal, others appearing as floating cities suspended in midair. Before they could fully absorb the scene, sensors detected movement nearby. Dozens of ships approached, their designs unfamiliar yet undeniably advanced. Tension mounted as the vessels surrounded the expeditionary team, weapons trained on them cautiously. Then, a single ship detached itself from the group and moved closer, broadcasting a message in flawless English. "Greetings, travelers from Earth," came the voice, warm and melodic. "We are the Lumavern, descendants of those who fled the Zitherian Empire millennia ago. Your signal reached us across the void, and we have come to offer our aid." Relief washed over Emily as she realized they had stumbled upon potential allies rather than foes. Over the next several hours, the Lumavern shared invaluable information about the Zitherians, including weaknesses in their tactics and strategies for countering their superior firepower. They also revealed the existence of hidden sanctuaries scattered throughout the galaxy, refuges where endangered species could retreat in times of crisis. By the time the expedition returned to Earth, they carried not only hope, but also concrete plans for bolstering humanity's defenses. News of the Lumivern alliance spread quickly, reigniting public enthusiasm for the coalition effort. Protests dwindled as people rallied behind the idea of standing shoulder to shoulder with extraterrestrial friends against a common enemy. In the quiet moments between meetings and missions, Emily often reflected on how far humanity had come since that fateful night when the sky parted to reveal star destroyers. From frightened bystanders gazing upward in awe to active participants in a galactic struggle for survival, humans had proven themselves capable of adapting and thriving under extraordinary circumstances. And though the road ahead remained fraught, the alliance with the Lumivern marked a turning point in humanity's journey among the stars. With their guidance and support, Earth's defenses reached unprecedented levels of sophistication. The orbital shields now formed an impenetrable barrier around the planet, capable of deflecting even the most devastating attacks. Ground-based installations bristled with alien weaponry, each piece meticulously calibrated to function alongside human operators. Soldiers trained tirelessly, mastering techniques that combined Earth's ingenuity with extraterrestrial precision. For the first time since the arrival of the Vryn and the revelation of the Zetherian threat, humanity felt prepared, not just to survive, but to fight back. Yet preparation alone wasn't enough. Emily knew that true strength lay not in weapons or technology, but in unity. She spent countless hours traveling across the globe, speaking at schools, community centers, and international summits. Her message was simple yet powerful. We are stronger together. Whether addressing skeptical villagers in rural India or addressing delegates at the United Nations, she emphasized the importance of collaboration, not only between humans and aliens but also among humanity itself. Slowly but surely her words began to resonate. Divisions that had once seemed insurmountable started to heal as people realized they shared a common goal: protecting their home and ensuring a future for generations to come. Meanwhile, Alex Chen continued his work decoding the ancient gateway beneath Antarctica. Though stabilized and monitored closely, the structure still held mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Using data gathered during the expedition to the nebula, Alex identified patterns within the gateway's energy signatures, patterns that suggested it could be reprogrammed to serve as more than just a defensive tool. What if we could use it to strike back? He proposed during one late-night brainstorming session with Emily. If we can pinpoint where the Zetherians are gathering, maybe we can send a preemptive strike through the portal. Emily hesitated, considering the implications. Preemptive strikes were risky business, especially against an enemy as ruthless and unpredictable as the Zetherians. Yet doing nothing carried its own risks. If the Zetherians launched an attack before Earth was fully ready, the consequences could be catastrophic. After consulting with Commander Zinthar and the Kalith ambassadors, Emily made the difficult decision to proceed, but cautiously. They would gather intelligence first using reconnaissance drones equipped with cloaking technology to scout Zetherian strongholds without revealing Earth's intentions. The reconnaissance mission proved both thrilling and terrifying. Piloted remotely by a team of elite operatives, including General Hayes, the drones ventured deep into hostile territory, capturing footage of heavily fortified bases and fleets of warships preparing for battle. The images sent chills down everyone's spines, but they also provided critical insights into Zetherian vulnerabilities. One particular weakness stood out: their reliance on centralized command hubs. Disable these hubs and entire armies could be thrown into disarray. Armed with this knowledge, Emily and her team devised a daring plan. Working alongside the Lumivern and the Kalith Collective, they developed a multi-pronged strategy designed to cripple the Zetherians' operations while minimizing collateral damage. The plan involved sending small strike teams through the gateway to sabotage key targets, supported by coordinated attacks from coalition forces positioned strategically throughout the galaxy. It was a bold gamble, but one they believed worth taking. The day of the operation arrived under a cloud of tension and anticipation. In command centers around the world, monitors displayed real-time updates from the battlefield, showing the positions of coalition ships and the progress of the strike teams. Emily stood at the heart of the action, stationed aboard a Kalith vessel orbiting Earth. From there, she coordinated communications between human and alien forces, ensuring every element of the plan unfolded smoothly. As the strike teams emerged from the gateway, they encountered fierce resistance. Zetherian patrols swarmed them instantly, unleashing barrages of plasma fire that lit up the void like fireworks. Despite the odds, the teams pressed forward, guided by precise intel and bolstered by advanced shielding technology. One by one, they infiltrated the command hubs, planting explosives programmed to detonate simultaneously across multiple locations. The explosions rippled through Zetherian territories, causing chaos and confusion among their ranks. Simultaneously, coalition fleets launched a massive assault on Zetherian strongholds, drawing their attention away from the strike teams. Ships clashed in spectacular displays of firepower, lighting up the darkness of space with bursts of light and trails of debris. Fighters darted between larger vessels, weaving through enemy fire with breathtaking agility. On board the Kalith flagship, Emily watched the battle unfold with bated breath, praying silently for success. Against all expectations, the plan worked. By crippling the command hubs and overwhelming their defenses, the coalition dealt a decisive blow to the Zetherians, forcing them to retreat to the farthest reaches of known space. Cheers erupted in command centers worldwide as news of the victory spread. For the first time in centuries, the Zetherians had been pushed back, a feat many thought impossible. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth celebrated its triumph. Cities erupted in jubilation, with parades, fireworks, and festivals honoring those who had fought bravely. Leaders praised the courage and ingenuity of humanity, highlighting the role cooperation had played in securing victory. But amidst the celebrations, Emily remained reflective. She knew the war wasn't over. The Zetherians would regroup and return eventually. Still, she allowed herself a moment of pride, knowing that humanity had proven itself worthy of standing alongside the greatest civilizations in the galaxy. Her thoughts turned to the sacrifices made along the way. Many lives had been lost, both human and alien, in the struggle to protect Earth. Among them was General Marcus Hayes, who had given his life leading the strike teams through the gateway. His final transmission echoed in Emily's mind. "Tell them we did it. We showed them what we're made of." With tears in her eyes, Emily vowed never to forget those who had fallen. Their legacy would live on in the alliances forged, the technologies developed, and the hope ignited in millions of hearts. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and though challenges lay ahead, Emily knew they were ready to face whatever came next. Years passed, and Earth transformed beyond recognition. Skyscrapers gleamed with alien alloys, powered by clean energy sources unimaginable just decades earlier. Schools taught children about the stars, instilling in them a sense of wonder and responsibility. Spaceports dotted the globe, connecting humanity to a network of worlds united by shared values and goals. The gateway beneath Antarctica became a symbol of hope, a testament to what could be achieved when species set aside differences and worked together. For Emily, life settled into a rhythm of purpose and fulfillment. Though retired from active duty, she remained a beloved figure often invited to speak about humanity's journey among the stars. Her story inspired countless others to pursue careers in science, diplomacy, and exploration. Meanwhile, Alex Chen continued his research, unlocking new secrets hidden within the Gateway's ancient code. And so, humanity entered a new era. One defined not by fear or isolation, but by courage, curiosity, and connection. The star destroyers that had once terrified the world now served as guardians, watching over Earth as it took its place among the stars. Together, humans and aliens forged a brighter future, proving that even in the vastness of space, no one is ever truly alone. As Emily gazed at the night sky one last time, she smiled, knowing that humanity's greatest adventure was only beginning.